Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you to Kurtz Field on the campus of Georgia College and State University in Milledgeville, Georgia, as we wrap up the regular season this afternoon. It's time for Bobcat baseball. The Bobcats hosting the Rams of Winston-Salem State University and trying to go for the sweep and wrap up a great 2018 regular season with a lot of postseason hopefully ahead. Alongside Al Weston, I'm Scott McLeod. Jason and everybody taking care of business for us on YouTube today. And Al, Bobcats had to rally again on Saturday, came up with a win after it was tied in the top of the sixth inning. Georgia College rallied for 5 in the bottom of the sixth and came up with a 12-5 win yesterday over these Rams.
Yeah, again, we've got this pattern coming, the last month or so of falling behind in ball games or evening things out in ball games and having that late surge. You like that come from behind element. You like that, never say die sort of attitude. It just concerns me a little bit that, at some point those rallies are going to dry up. I'm a little bit worried about that. So I'd like to have a bit more comfortability, and I'm sure some of our starting pitchers would as well, just to try and take a game and control it from start to finish like we were doing real early in the season. We were dominant that way, and so we haven't been as dominant, but we're still getting the W's, which is good. I mean, you can say the good teams win games when they don't play their very best, and I think we're still trying to figure out what kind of postseason we're going to have, and maybe looking a little bit too much forward to it.
Well, Trevor Guthrie got the start yesterday, but got racked up a little bit early. He gave up 4 runs in 4 2/3 innings pitched, but Georgia College then was able to come away with a win from Logan Howard. Good relief effort late in that ball game for him. Yeah,
that's the second real strong relief work this weekend. Got Bradley Kamak on Friday that held down the Ram Bats for 4 innings there with just 1 unearned run. And, Howard has done a great job this year, his junior season. The emergence of him as a reliable arm out of the bullpen is exciting. To have that lefty that you can go to in a tough spot that can finish off a game for you more often than not. And the improvement from him, as a freshman. I remember him starting a couple of weekend ball games, and there was a couple of them he wouldn't, even get out of the second inning. He seemed to struggle a bit, but he has really righted the ship here in his junior season, and he's one of our better arms right now. I would say maybe our third best.
Offensively, the Bobcats banged out a lot of hits once again, got double-digit runs. They're averaging over 9.5 runs per ball game now on the season, but they're giving up some runs to a pretty good hitting Winston-Salem State University Ram squad. They're averaging over 7.3 runs a contest, and they've picked up a number of runs against the Bobcat pitching staff here this weekend, and hopefully we can take care of business early on today and settle things early and let the bench come off again and wrap things up.
Yeah, got some talented hitters in the Ram lineup, some really dangerous bats. Abreu, the third baseman, is a good one, hit a home run yesterday. The catcher Parks also had a home run in this series. You look at the leadoff hitter there, Norris is a nasty one. I think if he's on a team maybe that has like a conference tournament and that kind of stuff, he could showcase his skills, maybe win, get into a regional or something like that. He could potentially play, at the next level, maybe an independent ball or something like that, because he's a very talented kind of 5-tool guy. And, so they've got some hitters. There's some dangerous spots in the lineup. They got a shortstop that's a freshman who's leading them in home runs and playing a pretty strong shortstop over there as well. So I think the future for that program is pretty good. And hopefully you can hold them down for one more ball game.
Coach Ritchie has turned things around the last few years for Winston-Salem State. Traditionally, they have not been a strong baseball program, but the last couple of years they have really come on, and it's with folks like Randy Norris, who's going to lead off with them today and play in center field. John Garcia will bat second and play in left field. Brandon Ford is a right fielder hitting third. Emilio Abreu will be the cleanup man playing at third base. Cole Parks is catching once again, hitting fifth. Batting sixth is Luke Spiva. Batting seventh, Spiva, of course, playing first base. Batting seventh, the DH, Rashad Stewart. Wellington Guzman is the shortstop, and he'll be batting eighth. Batting ninth and playing at second base is Nick Williams, and Tyrese Hurst will be on the mound for the visiting Rams, and we'll get to his numbers in just a second. Before the Bobcats take out onto the field, Cal Gentry will lead us off at shortstop. Matthew Miller bats second and plays at first base. Wesley Womack is the DH today and will be at the third spot in the lineup. Logan Maddox will hit cleanup in center field. Batting fifth is Nate Schmall at second base with a chance to win the Peach Belt Conference regular season batting crown today. Brandon Purcell will hit sixth. He's catching. Brant Stallings will hit seventh in right field. Garrett Green hits eighth and plays at third base. Mike Warren will be in left field and bat ninth. And Harrison Veldsma will be on the mound. We'll give you his numbers in a second. So again, for the Bobcats, it's Gentry, Miller, Womack, Maddox, Schmall, Purcell, Stallings, Green, and Warren. Getting set for our national anthem, then we'll have first pitch for you here as we wrap up the 2018 regular season at Kurtz Field. Got a strong wind blowing in from left and left center field, about 12 miles an hour this afternoon. So it's going to take a poke to get one out of the Kurtz and keep it fair in right field, of course, with that wind blowing maybe a little bit toward right. So the Bobcats out on the hill and out on the diamond, I should say, and out on the hill for the Bobcats is Harrison Veldsma.
Veldsma making his 10th appearance, his second start of the season. A 2-0 record for him, 2.60 goes the ERA. 17 in the third innings pitched, 10 hits against him, 5 runs, all of them earned, 9 walks to 24 big strikeouts, 24 in 17 and a third innings. Opponents hitting just 149 against him. That's best on the squad. And Veldsman's a good one. He's got your prototypical pitcher's body there. Very tall and lanky from the right side, can bring great heat, and it's good to see him having some success after battling injuries for the better part of 2 seasons.
Nolan Belcher, the pitching coach of the Bobcats, says that Veldsman's got the fastball, the curve, and the changeup, and the fastball is pretty heavy. It will drop on Veldsma, get down low in that strike zone, and like most good pitchers, you got to control it down low. He can locate both sides of the plate, and he did so against Columbus and a couple of weekends ago when the Bobcats were able to take 2 out of 3 over the Cougars to wrap up their Peach Belt Conference season. Veldsma on the hill, and the native of Marietta out of Georgia Perimeter College, 6'5" and 210. He's got downward sink, of course, with the height, and he's going to take advantage of that here, let's hope. As the Bobcats wrap up their campaign, Georgia College now 38-10, 21-2 at the friendly confines of Kurtz Field. They have won their last 3 ball games. They're 8-2 over the last 10. For the Rams, they're now 30-19. They have struggled away from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. They're only 5-10 on the road this season, including the 2 losses here at the Kurtz. Their last 10 starts, they've gone 5-5. Randy Norris will start things off for them. Norris, 333 for 3 for 9 out of the series thus far. Norris with a couple of runs batted in. The first pitch is swung on and missed, and we are underway at the Kurtz for the final game of the regular season. Bobcats with the green uniform tops and the white pants, and camo red for the visitors with the traditional gray road pants as the pitch hangs up high, 1-1.
104 on your official first pitch time.
Thank you very much. 82 degrees if you want to put that in there as well.
All right, very good.
Wind blowing at 12 miles an hour again, so we got to watch out for that. Bounces up across the front corner of the plate and to the backstop. 2-1. Norris, a good one for them, as you were talking about, Al. He's got great speed. We saw him track down some balls in center field, similar to what some of the Bobcat center fielders have done over the years.
Yeah, 34 stolen bases and 38 tries as well.
Line drive right field. It'll get in for a base hit as Randy Norris starts things off just like he did on Friday night with a single. And he just steered that one over the head of the Bobcat second baseman, Nate Schmall.
Yeah, tough hitter there, and singles for him can quickly turn into doubles with that speed of his. So you don't want him on the base pass. We did a great job yesterday of keeping him off, but here he goes, getting things started for the Rams here in the first.
He is 1 for 1 in the series in the stolen bases, as you said, at 34 swipes on the year for him. John Garcia will come to the plate now. Garcia struggling for the series, just 2 for 9. A .222 batting average, and the left fielder takes one over, but low for ball one. Could see a lot of pitchers for the Bobcats today, according to Coach Belcher. They will try to run through some arms if possible. Let a lot of guys get a chance to get a final tune-up in before the Peach Belt tournament.
I was talking with Brad Spinner, might see him again today.
That'd be great. Over the top fastball is drilled foul toward the Bobcat bullpen. Evens the count at 1-1 on John Garcia. Garcia's hits have both been singles. He was hit by a pitch on Friday night as well.
Yeah, Garcia, the team leader in hit batsman with 13. Almost double the next guy on the squad.
Fly ball center field. Maddox cruises to his right. He's got it for out number 1. Logan Maddox, it's always fun to see him patrolling center field and camping underneath some balls once he gets over there. Garcia was hitting .336 before that fly out. Now here's Brandon Ford coming in with a .319 batting average. 8 home runs, 47 runs batted in. He's their leader in ribbies. And Ford has yet to drive in a run here at the Kurtz this weekend.
Scott, you missed it yesterday. Logan, the rare error out in center field that ends a streak that's lasted, I think, a year and a half.
Yep.
Without an error. Went all last season without one, and getting into the final weekend of this year before he gets his first one. So it's been since his sophomore season that he's had an error, and it was just a roller up the middle that kicked off his shin.
Swing and a foul tip, 1-1. Yeah, Coach Eller was lamenting that fact, and of course that cost him Gold Glove for a second straight year, I'm sure.
Well, maybe. I'm not sure what other outfielder, what sort of criterion you look for. I mean, obviously winning it last year and going the better part of 2 whole seasons without an error, I think that's some criterion that could help out.
1-1 pitch got out of the grasp of Veldsma a little bit, and Ford takes it. It's 2-1. You can hear the wind in the mics. That's how strong it is coming into the press box here. Batten down the hatches, boys and girls. We're going to have some papers flying. 2-1 with a runner at first and 1 out. Ground ball to shortstop. Gentry is going to take it himself over to first. Double play, and that'll do it in the top of the first inning. So a 6-3 twin killing. Ford and Norris are retired, and that will do it. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left. Bobcats come up for their first swings of Sunday afternoon at the ballpark, and we'll be back in just a bit on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Bobcats come up for the bottom of the first inning. They'll be sending Cal Gentry, Matthew Miller, and Wesley Womack against Tyrese Hurst.
Hurst, a pretty good one. Got some good numbers for the freshman here, making his 14th appearance, his 7th start, a 4-1 record, and a 3.92 ERA. All real solid for aluminum bats here in Division II. 41 in the third innings pitched, 28 hits against him, 23 runs, 18 of them earned. 23 walks to 35 strikeouts, so the ratio not real good there, but opponents hitting just 184 against him.
Wow.
And so a pretty solid right-hander, and like I said, just a freshman too, so they got him for a while.
Yeah, getting the job done his first year out of the box, so to speak. Thomasville, North Carolina native out of Westchester Country Day School, 6'2" and 195 for the right-hander. He'll be pitching from that far right side toward first base side of the rubber. And the Bobcats would love to get something going early and kind of take the worry out of the way, right? According to the announcing staff here.
Yes, that's
Coach Eller's
this guy's opinion anyway.
Coach Eller was giving me a little grief about that because I told him, you had to come from behind again. What's up with that? And he said, "Hey, it's a win." Did you give Kurtz and Carty and all those and Maroka the same hard story? And I said, "Yep." We have a tendency, us media guys, to follow trends.
We like the comfortable wins.
There you go. First pitch to Cal is on the inside corner for a strike. Gentry hitting .375 for the series. He's 3 out of 8. And on the campaign, the shortstop at .298. Like to get him above that 300 mark today. Next pitch is outside on a two-seamer, and it's 1-1.
Well, if the past is any indication here, Scott, first inning, normally a good one for us. 64 runs scored on the season. That's the second best of any of the innings of the 9 for us scoring-wise.
High and away to Cal.
The best, the 6th inning, we've scored 88 runs in the 6th inning, so
well,
look out.
Yesterday it was 5 in the 6th, so,
yeah, so
look out.
Those numbers have really ballooned up here.
Here's the 2-1. Cal's going to slap it to the right side. It will be Spiva taking it himself for the easy out. Gentry retired, 3 unassisted. Now Matthew Miller comes up. All Matty's done is gone 4 for 6 for the series with a double and a triple and an RBI. He's walked 3 times as well. And on the season, a .410 batting average for the senior first baseman.
Yeah, Miller had 3 for 3 contests yesterday with both that double, the triple, and the RBI. Was our Zaxby's player of the game in yesterday's action.
And well earned as well. First pitch from Hurst. Fastball outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1.
The triple that he had was to dead center field. It was just hit so hard that Norris couldn't get to it, went up over his head all the way to the fence.
0-1 to Matt. Slider low and away. Evens the count 1-1.
Wound up sliding into third, but didn't need to. Obviously, Miller with very good speed. And again, just hit so hard the center fielder Norris had very little time to react.
Talking to Kent Rollins in the dugout before the ball game about Miller. Miller very laid back, and he can keep you loose. And he's had a lot of injuries to worry about. And as we talked about Friday, what a great comeback he's had after sitting out all of last year and returning. And all he's done is hit .410 his senior season.
Well, and finishing his degree too. That was the piece. Is he had taken the year off to get the academics straightened out, and the stick-to-itiveness to finish off that biology degree. Not an easy major here at GC. So.
No, it's not. 3-1 coming from Hurst to Miller. High and tight, ball 4. He was ready to go. Had to look back at home plate umpire Billy Square to make sure it was going to be called ball 4. So we'll get a 1-out base runner. And Wesley Womack will stand at the dish for Georgia College. A .392 batting average for Wesley. A couple of home runs, 38 RBI. And for the series, hitting .429. He's 3 for 7. A couple of runs scored, 3 runs batted in. Also has drawn a pass. Womack getting the job done with a lot of singles on Friday and Saturday. First pitch is up high for ball 1.
Yeah, good ball game Friday, 3 for 4 with 3 driven in. Had a 2-run single and then another 1-run single as well.
All 3 of his hits have been singles. Toss over to first base. Easy get back for Matthew Miller.
Did not get the start yesterday as we put the seniors out there in the lineup.
It was great to see the picture on the website with all the guys holding the special commemorative bats that the coaching staff got for him. Ground ball to second base, could be 2. There's the flip to second for 1. To first, not in time, as Wesley, running from the left-hand batter's box, is able to beat the wrap at first. So fielder's choice grounder. Miller retired 4-6. Almost got a chance to turn that one, but the good legs and good wheels of Womack.
And being left-handed, too, that helps. Got a little bit of head start there. But yeah, almost had a double play ball in the top half and the bottom half of this inning.
Here's a guy who's come back. Thank goodness. Logan Maddox now above 400 for the season, 401. 8 round trippers to lead the Bobcats, 61 runs batted in. He's got 3 in the series, and he is currently 3rd in the conference in RBI. The other 2 guys ahead of him have already finished their seasons. That's Jackson and Jacobs, who are also great hitters in batting average.
Scotty's also 5th in school history in career runs batted in.
Aha. Toss to first. I'm sure you had
209 in his career. He's behind, this is a pretty good list here. Tom Gorman, Phil Arp, Keith Slocum.
3 Hall of Famers.
And Bill Blair. Those are the 4 guys in front of Logan Maddox.
And a balk called on Hurst, and that'll move Womack to second base. Not too shabby. Boomer Blair was a really fine hitter as well. He had a home run in Idaho that I don't think it's still come down yet.
That list also is going to make him the NCAA era school record holder.
That's true, because most of those guys played in the NAIA days.
Yep, all those guys coming in the 80s. So.
Yep. Skipped up there, and it's 3-1 now, the count.
From what I understand, playing a few more ball games back then as well.
Indeed.
In the regular season. So particularly if you look at runs batted in per, at bat or something like that per game, then he might be the all-time leader.
Well, he's got a chance to deliver another RBI here, and he takes a strike.
Not too far away from Blair at 213. If he gets a 4 RBI day today, which is not out of the realm of possibility, something he's done before.
Next one hangs high on Logan Maddox. Runner at second base and 2 down. Bobcats trying to get on the board early here in the first inning and take some of the drama out of the final game of the season. Maybe that's it. Maybe these guys are drama majors. 2-1, down low, 3-1. Coach Eller looking down at the third base box, checking in, and Maddox checks in with him, I should say. Jake Sandlin in the first base box as always. Logan deep in that right-hand batter's box. 3-1 pitch is taken for a strike, and that'll fill the count up on the Bobcats center fielder. For the series, .556 batting average for Lowe, 5 out of 9 with a couple of runs scored and 3 runs batted in. He had a good night on Friday as well. 3-2 pitch to him is a line drive, knocked down by the shortstop. It gets off his glove into center field, and that'll drive in the run, and there's another RBI for Logan Maddox. 62 on the year. The infield single off the glove of the second baseman.
Well, first run of the ball game goes the way of the Cats, and that's a good start. You like to see this jump out in front. Did that Friday night, and we do it again here on Sunday.
So Maddox will be at first base with 2 down, and here is Nate Schmall. And a good story today. Nate Schmall hitting .417 for the year. He is now currently tied with those 2 other guys from Pembroke, as we talked about, Jacobs and Jackson. So a 3-way tie for the Peach Belt Conference batting crown. And Nate with an opportunity to pick up a pretty good accolade, I would say, in the Peach Belt Conference. A really good offensive conference. For Nate to win it, it would be back-to-back Bobcats to take it. Gentry took it last year, of course. Pitch is low for a ball. It's 1-0.
And the guy that Gentry beat is patrolling left field for the Bobcats here today, and Mike Warren.
Yep.
So no surprise that the offense is this strong this year.
1-0. Maddox will dive back to the bag.
Looked like they had him on a little bit of a lean there. I don't know if Maddox was thinking about a steal or just extending his secondary lead, but took him a fraction of a second to flop back to the bag.
Not a whole lot of steals, 8 out of 10, but still really good average there. And the pitch is up high, and it's 2-0 on Nate Schmall.
Yeah, Maddox's speed shows itself most defensively, and then on hits, you get that first to third type of speed. I don't think there's anybody better on the team than Maddox. But for whatever reason, just doesn't correlate into stolen bases much.
2-0 offering, and a rope to right, base hit. He'll go to third, will Maddox, and Schmall will get his knock. And he's now atop the Peach Belt Conference in batting average, as he's now 4 for 8 for the series. So Schmall just lined it to the right side. First baseman holding there, of course, with Maddox, and that opened things up some. Allowed Schmall to steer it right to the right side.
Yeah, it's almost unfair when you got a good hitting lefty up there and having to hold that guy on first base. Just so much area to work with on that right side.
Brandon Purcell's had a pretty good series, and even 500, 4 for 8 with 4 runs scored and 4 driven in. He also had a 2-run home run on Friday night. And the senior receiver's hitting .382 for the year. First pitch fastball, low and away. Percy with a chance to do some more damage here. 5 home runs, 47 runs batted in. And those 47 ribbies are second on the squad behind Mr. Maddox. The 1-0 to Percy. Right over the top, right into left field. Base hit. Purcell just stayed right back. Drilled the fastball to left field for the knock. Give him 48 RBI for the year, and the Cats now lead it 2-0.
He's got a good piece of hitting there. It's almost a mirror image of what Schmall just did, as he does it from the right side there and rolls it through the infield for another RBI single.
The freshman Hurst gets a visit from his catcher Parks. Well, here's a guy who could defeat the wind, Brant Stallings.
If anybody's gonna.
It's gonna be Brant.
My
He's coming
goodness.
to the dish with a wind howling about 12 miles an hour or so. You got it? Reaching for a pen and trying to reach through all the wind is Mr. Weston.
Blowing me back there.
Check swing, and did he go? They'll appeal to the base umpire. Yes, he did. Could not hold off the swing, could Brant Stallings. And the count 0-1 on the Bobcat right fielder today.
Scott with that RBI for Purcell. Now gives him 189 in his career, which ties him for 8th place in school history with Brandon Benson.
Not too bad company there either.
Yeah, tie yourself with Brandon Benson for anything, you're in good shape.
Yes, indeed. 1-1 now to Stallings. Brant on the year, 349 as he makes his 36th appearance in 27 starts. 6 round trippers, 31 runs batted in for Stallings. Just 1 for 5 for the series, struggling against the Rams. See if he can make up for it right here with 2 mates on. And he'll pop one right this way, but it's coming back over our heads. Got one more chance this season, maybe, to get a foul ball in the old press box.
Everybody's always excited about it. Mostly Riley. I think it's just Riley.
I think Riley's excited about life.
just waking up in the morning.
He is all guns the second he wakes up.
It's a new
Pitch is
day.
high and tight. Yep, it's a new day. Deuce as well, Mr. Weston, for the
there
first
it is.
time today, and it's the Scott McLeod. I thank you for that on
Yes.
the 9th inning yesterday. I appreciate that. It's 2 on, 2-2 the pitch, with 2 out to number 2-2.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, baby, we got it. We got the numerology working.
We
It's
are
all
rocking
across
and
the
rolling
board.
right here.
Hurst with the pitch. Check swing, but he's going to get a knock into right field. It's off the right fielder's glove. Stallings digging for second. A run will score. Checking into third will be Purcell, and the Bobcats have a 3-0 lead. As Ford made an excellent effort to try and snare that on the fly, but it just got off the glove.
Just an excuse me type of swing there. Got about 3/4 of the way through it. Yeah, that's a hit. Everybody, anybody else who hits that, it's probably a pop out to the second baseman. But Stallings, the extra bit of power, and he doubles into right center. Impressive.
So Stallings with his 32nd run batted in on a check swing. And it's an opposite field knock as well. Just enough to get it past Ford, who got the leather on it, but not enough to snare it. And second and third for Garrett Green. 2-out magic for the Bobcats here in the first inning, as they are trying to put no doubt in this season finale. First pitch to Garrett is on the outside corner at the letters for a strike, 0-1. Green on the season, he's above 400 at 401. Home run, 34 RBI, 11 doubles for the Bobcat third sacker. For the series, he's 2 for 8, a .250 batting average against the Rams. Another fastball, this one's high, and it's 1-1.
Well, I will say in the first inning here, it's nice of the guys to heed our complaints about not jumping out early on teams.
They're just making the old man happy is what they're doing. Get things started. See if Garrett can keep the line moving. And he'll swing and put a pop-up into short right field. Ford will come in. He's camped under it now, and he'll grab it out of the sky for out number 3. But a big first inning for the Bobcats. They get 3 runs. They do it on a total of 3 hits. No errors and 2 runners left on in scoring position. And 1. Bobcats up 3-0. You're on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. So the Bobcats have staked Harrison Veldsma to a 3-0 lead as we enter the second inning of play at the Kurtz. Georgia College 3, Winston-Salem State 0. Emilio Abreu, Cole Parks, and Luke Spiva due up for the Rams. Abreu, the third baseman, Parks, the catcher, and Spiva is the first sacker for Coach Kevin Ritchie again today. And the first pitch to Abreu is on the outside corner for strike 1. Coach Ritchie did not use a whole lot of different players yesterday, which surprised me. I thought that he would empty the bench some too.
Yep, he. I don't think he's sent a single pinch hitter out there. He hasn't all weekend, and I don't think the lineup has changed any either. It hasn't. Just shuffled around a couple of positions. As Stewart, I think, was the second baseman on Friday night. And he's at DH again today as Abreu takes over at third and kind of shuffles Williams over to second once again.
Next pitch to Abreu sails off the catcher's mitt to the backstop. Abreu on the series is 3 for 7, 429 batting average, couple of runs scored. He's driven in 3 runs. Had the big 2-run homer yesterday.
Yeah, when he hit that there, that was took a lot of air out of the sails for Georgia College, as he got all of that baseball.
A 404 batting average as he stands in. And the next pitch is down low. Squirts away from Brandon Purcell. It's 2-2. Abreu on the year leads them in homers with 10. And 41 runs batted in. That's second highest on the club. The 2-2 from Veldsma, over the top fastball down low, and it's 3-2. He'll give you a couple of different looks, won't he? Arm angles. Looks like it comes straight over the top and then maybe a little bit of a slot look.
Yep, with that, you mentioned the down motion on the fastball. I got to assume that's probably when he's coming directly over the top.
Ground ball skips off the glove of Garrett Green into left field. So that'll be a base knock. Green gave it a try, diving to his left, but unable to snare it.
Yeah, that's evidence of the hot corner over there for sure, as Abreu got out in front of that one and chopped it into the ground. So little reaction time for Green. I think he got a piece of it as it caromed into left.
That'll bring Cole Parks to the plate. A .333 batting average for the series, 3 out of 9 with 2 runs scored and 3 runs batted in. He had a big 3-run home run Friday night. Parks also hitting close to .333 for the season. He's at .331 with 5 round trippers and 32 RBI. Tried to drive it out of the Kurtz there with a swing, and it's 0-1.
Sorry, Scott. Parks had a great ball game yesterday. Had a couple of hits and 4 trips, and his 2 outs were hit very hard to the outfield as well.
Next pitch is outside for a ball on the curveball from Veldsma. Friday night it was kind of all or nothing for Parks with 1 for 4. He had the 3-run homer, struck out his other 3 times.
So. Parks has been very busy back behind the plate as well. A bunch of balls that he snuffed out in the dirt and a couple of wild pitches, unfortunately, that were actually pretty key for the Bobcat offense yesterday as well. Here's a good one for you. Matthew Miller, scored 3 times on wild pitches yesterday.
That's got to be a Bobcat record.
I don't know. It's not something we keep track of.
Yeah,
but,
we don't keep track of those, but that one, it's kind of hard to top more than 3 times in one ball game as that's skied out of play to the right. And the count goes 2-2 now on Parks. Wow. So Mr. Miller was in the right place at the right time 3 times.
Yep, 3 times with scoring on wild pitches. And, again, Parks did a good job knocking quite a few of them down, too. So it was
there could have been more, huh?
It was a long day for him yesterday, but he also performed well at the plate.
Another warm one out there yesterday, and today it's not quite as warm. Fly ball right field. Stallings is backing up, and he will finally camp under it. That wind took it a little bit toward the foul line on Brandt. Defensively, it is Warren in left today. Maddox in center, Stallings in right. And around the infield, it will be Green,
first baseman, number 3, Luke
Gentry, Schmall, and Miller. And the catcher, of course, is Brandon Purcell. So Abreu at first base with 1 down. And Spiva will come up now. Luke has a 3-for-9 series.
Threw a couple extra seniors out there yesterday. Got start for Howler in right field, and also put John Davis over at third base for the beginning of the game.
Got to thank those guys for all their contributions over their career. Pitch is taken for a strike by Spiva. .323 batting average. 2 round trippers, 21 runs batted in. He's abstaining from using the batting gloves. A rarity in baseball these days. You see at least 1 batting glove per player for the most part. There's a high strike on the outside corner.
It's a tough location there. Veldsma brings it pretty quick on the fastball, so you're not going to catch up with those high, hard ones.
Miller holding it first with Abreu with 1 out. And Spiva swings, lifts a pop-up left side. That's going to be on the top of the fence. Just barely stayed in the Kurtz. We got on 1 bounce. That doesn't count?
Yeah, the top of the fence is literally about the size of a baseball.
That's true.
That is not an easy thing to do, knocking off the very top of the foul line fence.
So Spiva will stay alive. As Harrison Veldsma readies the 1-2 and delivers up high with the heat.
Scott, I like Veldsma. I think he's one of those guys that has, a big game in him at some point. Maybe you know how sometimes in the postseason we'll run into a guy that hasn't pitched for him all year long and he shuts us down. I think Veldsma is one of those kind of guys. He's only got 17 innings on the year, but he's been really good.
He is out from me to you on the throw down. Purcell to Gentry. Caught stealing as Abreu. So Abreu gunned down. Brandon had a good pitch to throw on. The fastball got there in a hurry. It was taken for a ball. It's 2-2 on Luke Spiva now with nobody on and 2 out.
Yeah, Deuce is wild now.
There you go. This is an Al Weston Deuce is wild. For
I get all the other ones?
You get all the other ones.
Okay.
Tap foul right side. Hey, I'm just grateful to get a chance to come talk with you.
Well, again, back to Veldsma, his history, too, with the injury. Missed all last season. He's actually, I think, in his 3rd year with Georgia College, redshirted 2 different seasons.
Wow.
With injury.
That's a rarity, too. 2-2 outside.
Just hasn't seen any action. Then came in for, a mop-up inning at Georgia Southwestern. It was like a 20-to-something ball game. I mean, it meant very little.
Mm-hmm.
It was just for the 9th inning. And he came out there, got 2 strikeouts, so just all over his social media, I saw everybody so happy for him that, he's getting back on the field again.
Spiva to the right side. Schmall handles it easily, and that will do it for the Rams in their half of the 2nd inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left after they caught stealing. 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the 2nd. Bobcats on top. You are on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Ball skips off the glove of Garrett Green into left field, so that'll be a base knock. Green gave it a try, diving to his left.
Down. I think Veldsma is one of those kind of guys. He's only got 17 innings on the year, but he's been really good.
He is out from me to you on the throw down. Bobcats will try to add to their 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Almost hit around. They sent 8 men to the plate, and 3 of them crossed the plate. Mike Warren, the only guy not to face Hurst, will start things off here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Mike, one of the seniors honored yesterday, and even 300 for his season, as he's 39 out of 130. Has 6 doubles, 1 home run, 24 runs batted in for the season.
Mike, all-region and all-conference outfielder a year ago for Armstrong State.
First pitch to him, fastball in for a strike, 0-1, little late wrinkle to it there. Warren went 0 for 2 yesterday with a run scored. So trying to get his first hit against the Rams this weekend.
Number 2 last year in batting average in the Peach Belt.
Takes another strike on the outside edge. And it's quickly 0-2 on the Bobcat left fielder.
Was also in the top 3 in stolen bases last year.
Just a hard lineup to crack on a day-to-day basis here.
Yeah, this is as this pitch comes in, rolled to the right side.
And it'll be an easy play for Williams, and that is out number 1.
This is a roster full of guys that are taking diminished roles to try and win championships, and that's an interesting thing to see. People that have been playing this game, traveling since they were 5-6 years old, and now they're thinking, if I do this, now I got a chance to be a part of something special, as opposed to just puffing up my own numbers, and we got a team full of those guys.
Gentry gets a line smash to the 3rd baseman, and just barely above the dirt, Abreu snares it for the 2nd out. That was a hard smash off Cal's bat. He's trying to go opposite field again, but Abreu stepped in there and grabbed it.
Yeah, Abreu caught that right just above the heel of his glove. That probably hit square on the palm. I imagine that wasn't too comfortable right there. Stinging his hand a little bit, I imagine.
So Gentry 0 for 2 after a ground out to the first baseman, his first at bat. Here's Matthew Miller, who walked in the opening inning, and he looks at a strike, 0-1. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with the guys kind of checking the egos enough to get a championship run in the regular season and hoping for more in the postseason here.
I've talked about it before, but here's another guy. I mean, Miller in any other lineup is a cleanup hitter or a 3 guy putting up a ton of RBI and getting looked at by scouts to play at the next level. Now, he's still getting looked at here, but not able to put up those runs batted in numbers quite as much as he would have on potentially some other squad.
Sure. Hitting second for the most part this season. He was leadoff hitter on Friday night, and he'll take one low and away. It's 2-1 now on Matthew.
And he's playing first base,
A
an
new position for
outfielder
him.
by trade.
Right.
You know, so, but we got to find a way to get that log jam in the outfield. So, hey, Matthew, can you play some first base? Sure, Coach, no problem.
Well, same thing with Nate Schmall. Curveball hooks in for a strike, and it's 2-2. Nate is traditionally either a catcher or an outfielder for the Bobcats, and
from what I understand, Nate actually approached Coach with that idea.
I wouldn't doubt it. Again, anything that'll help get the job done, as long as you can keep those sticks hot, it works. 2-2 with 2 outs, ducks away from an inside pitch, and it's 3-2.
Matthew walked the first time. I think it was a 3-1 pitch. So he's seen one more strike here in this at-bat.
Hurst doffs the cap on a warm day, and the freshman gets his sign and goes payoff to Matthew. And that one is blasted to left field. Going to stay in the park, though. Back on it is Garcia. He'll squeeze it, and that is out number 3. So the Bobcats go down in order. They build a 3-0 lead in the first inning. They still have a 3-0 lead at the end of 2. You're on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Moving on to inning number 3 at the Kurtz in the final day of the regular season. Georgia College owns a 3-0 lead over the Rams of Winston-Salem State. It'll be the bottom third of the order due up for the Rams against the Bobcats. Rashad Stewart, the DH, shortstop Wellington Guzman, and second baseman Nicholas Williams.
Interesting aspect of this ball game so far is that Winston-Salem has put their leadoff hitter on in both of the first 2 innings and not scored any runs. Georgia College has not had their leadoff hitter on in their first 2 innings, and they're up 3-0.
Yep.
So there's that for you.
How about that? And all 3 runs scored with 2 out. So getting some little bit of magic at the end of the season here. Bobcats, of course, own the Kurtz, 21-2 here at home. There's a roped past the shortstop Gentry with a diving effort into left center field. They get their leadoff man on for the 3rd straight inning on a base hit.
Well, it's worked out for us so far.
Yep. Let's hope the trend continues here.
Yeah, why mess with success? Just go ahead and put the first one on.
Stewart now 5 of 9 for the series here. He enjoys his visit to Milledgeville, and that'll bump his average up. He started today at 274, so that'll knock it skyward a little bit. Here's Wellington Guzman. Guzman also a 500 batting average coming in at 4 out of 8. One of the 4 hits, a double, as he takes the curveball outside for a ball.
Guzman had a home run yesterday too, right?
Does not
home runs
show
for him?
here.
Okay.
No. Abreu and Parks have had their homers.
I think I got it confused with Parks. Parks was the one that he put one on the shed out there in left field yesterday.
That was pitches outside again to Veldsma. Nobody in the Bobcat bullpen, so it's going to be Harrison's inning here.
That double was to left field as well and hit a couple of feet down on the fence on the fly.
Oh, wow.
It was a laser beam.
Well, Coach Eller has headed out to the mound to have a quick chat with Veldsma.
Yep, nobody warming up here, so this is purely conversational.
Probably one-way conversational. It's a monologue. It's not a dialogue out there.
Well, he's got quite an audience going.
Well, that's true. It's Sunday. He's preaching to the choir right now.
Could be. A lot of hand gestures. There are points being made right now.
Yes. And Billy Squire, the home plate umpire heading out, almost made him a rock star, didn't it?
Yep, that was very close.
That was close. And that'll break up the conference. Coach Eller jogs back to the dugout. Great couple of years for Coach Eller, huh? Peach Belt Tournament champions, Peach Belt regular season champions back the second year, and more to come, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know too many guys that in their second year have a strong candidacy for Conference Coach of the Year. But he might be geared up for it right now this year. I don't see a better candidate.
Nope. Came over from Augusta University, of course, and a long-time assistant at the University of Georgia. So he has paid his dues, and now they're paying off for him here.
Yep, Georgia baseball through and through there.
Outside 3-1 now.
Veldsman's got some loose leather on the mitt there.
Yeah.
The
Those
very
strings.
end of it, like he's got one string that's easily, like a good 8 inches long there, it looks like, just flopping around.
You would think that would be.
God, that'd be so annoying, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I would think the umpires would
Look
step
at
in there. That thing is just dangling, huh? 3-1, fouled off the fists, 3-2.
I don't know how strong our cameras are, if that's coming through on the broadcast or not, guys, but that is ridiculous. Get that poor guy a pair of scissors or something, trim that thing up.
David Youngblood's got some scissors down in
My goodness.
the dugout, I'm sure. All trainers are supposed to have scissors on them, right?
Indeed, indeed.
Here's the payoff pitch with the runner going, and it's going to be popped up. Short center field, long run. Now Gentry's waving everybody. No, he's going to call off. Get called off by Maddox.
Well, rightfully so. That
Yep.
was that ended up over on the second base side of the bag there pretty good. And I think Gentry was battling the sun as well.
He was. You could see that he was fighting that all the way, and Maddox almost became a fifth infielder there as he made the catch. So that's the first out as Guzman is retired. Stewart at first base for Nicholas Williams. Nick, 429 for his series here at the Kurtz, 3 out of 7 with a run batted in. And on the season, a 280 batting average for the second baseman today for the Rams. Pitch is low and away for ball one. It might be the final inning here for Veldsma, even though we don't see anybody at all in the bullpen for the Bobcats.
Got him at 39 pitches, 21 strikes right now.
The 1-0 pitch, waved at and missed. Kind of a tardy swing, and it's 1-1. Coach Belcher said that they wanted to give Charlie Hecht a good amount of pitches. He talked his way into going back out on the 5th inning, and that's when the line drive speared his shin. He's okay. Walked around the dugout for about a half an hour with ice on that shin. Line drive right field's going to bloop in for a hit. Schmall was pulled over just a little bit towards second. Otherwise, he might have been able to grab that one. So Nicholas Williams punches a single. And we'll go back to the top of the order for Randy Norris, who singled to right his first time up. So Charlie's okay, which is good news. Guthrie went, the 4 1/3 for the Bobcats yesterday and struggled just a bit, but they didn't want a whole lot of throws off his right arm, just enough to stay loose and ready for the weekend, next weekend.
Yep, I got to imagine he'll probably get the call in game 2 of that pool play.
Veldsma with a set in the deal. Nice breaking pitch at the knees on the outside corner for a strike. And now we see some occupancy of the bullpen. Some guys in green and white heading down that way.
Tough spot here, Scott. Got 2 runners on, just 1 out for their best hitter.
And Norris came in at 438 and added to it with that single in the first inning. And for the series, Norris now 3 for 4 for 10 rather. Fly ball left field. Warren backs up, now moves into his left and hauls it out of the sky. And that's 2 down. Long fly ball off Norris's bat against, well, the wind had died down briefly for a while. I guess that's what briefly means, for a while.
Pretty big out there for Veldsman. A little bit of confidence as he moves into the number 2 hitter. You get the out without the runners advancing as well. So now they can't come in on a wild pitch or anything, silly like an error or anything like that.
Garcia to the plate. Fly to center his first time up. Really spreads out. Runners are going to get to second and third on the pitch off the end of Purcell's glove, his mitt.
The location wasn't real good. Purcell was lined up outside.
And it came back inside.
So that was a little bit more catchable than your average wild pitch, but I'm still going to go wild pitch on that one anyway.
So Veldsma charged with the wild pitch and puts it second and third situation with 2 down. And for Harrison, that's his 4th charged wild pitch of the year. Down the middle at the knees. Evens the count 1-1.
2 arms warming up. Got a lefty and a righty. Trevor Evans, the lefty. On the right-hand side is Perry Keith.
Veldsma dangles the arm down, then comes set. And a 1-1 pitch on the way. Ground ball to the left side. Knocked down, grabbed nicely. Cross the diamond. Backhand pick off the ground. There's Miller saving another one. And that will do it for the Rams. They threaten with a couple of runners in scoring position, but do not score. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Georgia College with a 3-0 lead on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Getting set for the bottom of the third. Georgia College with a 3-0 lead, trying to add to it with Womack, Maddox, and Schmall due up. Wesley Womack came into the weekend 5th in hits in the Peach Belt Conference. Tied for 8th in doubles, tied for 7th with triples, and 15th in on-base percentage. In his first at bat, hit into a fielder's choice play, but later scored as he looks at a strike. He went to second on a balk, and that helped Logan Maddox deliver him from second base as the next batter. Lefty righty matchup. It's Sunday. It's hard to talk for some reason.
Womack added to the senior list this year. He is going to be graduating.
He'll try to shoot one into the gap, and it comes curling back in. Nice running catch by Norris. He had to go to his left and come in a little bit, and that wind brought it right back into the glove. So Womack stung it, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah, it was sinking on Norris. He was running out of time and was able to get underneath it. Covered a lot of ground on that play.
Logan Maddox with an RBI single and a run scored in the first inning. Maddox 6th in slugging coming into the weekend, 9th in on-base percentage. These are all Peach Belt marks. 6th in runs scored. He is 3rd in RBI right now. Was tied for 8th in doubles before the weekend started. and led the conference in sacrifice flies. Outside again.
It's one of the things the Bobcats do well is the sacrifice fly. As a team, I believe we're in the top 10 in the country.
I would imagine, and very close to the very top of it. Fastball right down the middle of the plate for a strike.
That just means, getting runs in when you can, shorten things up and, team baseball, all that kind of stuff, not trying to swing for the extra base hit.
Maddox puts one in the air, short right field. Coming in a hurry is Ford as the ball rolls over to the foul line, and Ford able to track it down. That one moved a lot on Ford out there.
Yeah, the wind working against him again as it's blowing directly over to our softball field now. And Ford, to his credit, stuck with it, eventually squeezing it.
Well, Nate Schmall is still in there, folks.
Yeah,
that would
have been interesting. Take him out after a hit.
After a hit, I was talking to Eller about that, and he said, they do it in the big leagues, don't they? You get a base hit and you get the batting average crown, and they take you out. And I said, yeah, but remember what Ted Williams did. I think he went 4 for 6 when he was trying to hit 401 on his last day. So he stayed in there all the way. Let's see if Schmall can come up with another base knock. Fastball away. Oh, excuse me. On the outside corner. Umpiring from the press box again, I am.
Yep, get ahead of yourself, son.
Yep. Mr. Square straightened me out on that one.
Not Squire.
Not Squire. And Schmall cuts and misses, and it's 1-2 on the Bobcats' second baseman.
Talk about changing the tide of this at bat. You get that edge pitch there, and then that evens out the count. Schmall probably lays off that last pitch in the dirt if he's at a 2-0.
Hurst with his 0-2 offering, and there's a ground ball. It's going to skip off the glove for another base knock. He's 2 for 2, and if he didn't do it before, he's going to do it now by winning the Peach Belt Conference regular season batting crown.
Well, just directed that pitch to the left side. Had enough space to work with on the glove side of Abreu. I think he did get quite a bit of that one. Almost came up with it, but hit too hard and comes off the edge of his glove.
And Schmall, being a left-handed batter, probably would have legged it out had he been able to come up with that smash. So 2 out. That extends the inning for Brandon Purcell. BP with a RBI single in the first inning. Slider low and away, ball 1. Well, they're doubles defense right now. It looks like the third baseman, Abreu, is very close to the line at third on the strong right-handed hitting Brandon Purcell. However, there's a huge gap at the 6 hole. Outside 2-0 now to Brandon Purcell.
Center fielder Norris has him played to pull as well, but the right fielder hugging a bit toward the line. That leaves a massive gap in right center.
Brandon coming into the weekend 7th in the conference in runs scored as a toss is to first, and Schmall back standing up. 2nd in doubles, 3rd in steals, and still 3rd as we head into today's play. Takes a fastball outside edge. 2-1 now.
Hitter's count there for Purcell. He was able to shorten up the zone a little bit, try and find his pitch. And I guess that wasn't it.
Schmall draws another toss. Brandon 8th in on-base percentage. Definitely knows his strike zone from being behind the plate all these years. Very disciplined hitter. The 2-1 pitch. Curveball, maybe a changeup, floated low.
Purcell very calm in the batter's box as well. Just a little bit of a flip to the bat, kind of rested on his shoulder. There's not much movement to his stance at all. Just slightly open, deep bend at the knees.
Runners going, pitches low and away for ball 4. First walk surrendered by Hurst. And Brandon Purcell gets another free pass. Now the Bobcats have runners at first and second with 2 down. Well, they got their 3 runs with 2 outs in the first inning. They'll try to duplicate that here with Brant Stallings. Stallings with a double to drive in his 32nd run of the year in that first frame. The Georgia Tech transfer settles in the right side. He's played left field, right field, DH. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. They're charging. Here's Norris. Here's the throw to the plate. There might be a play. No, it hits the mound and bounces off third base side. And scoring from second is Nate Schmall as Stallings comes through with another RBI hit. It's 4-0. Schmall going on contact with 2 out, able to outrace the throw.
Jumped all over that first pitch and hit a worm burner up the middle. Thought Norris might have a shot at it. I think he stumbled a little bit on the throw, and that's why it came in low, hit the mound.
So Stallings up to 33 ribbies in his lone year as a Bobcat, with more to come, hopefully. Here's Garrett Green with a fly to right to end that first inning. Ball bounces up there. Purcell going to go to third, and he will make it.
That'll be a wild pitch there. Broke after it hit the ground.
So the Bobcats will have runners at the corners with 2 down. That'll force Brady Akers, our base coach, to move over just a little bit. Garrett with an opportunity to score another run here for the Bobcats. That one's popped up and out of play. Up on Reiner's Hill. It's 1-1. Hurst dangles the arm down. They do have a right-hander throwing in their bullpen. Line to the bullpen area, but going to wind up on a walkway between the 2 diamonds here at the Peeler Complex. It's 1-2 now on Garrett Green. Again, Garrett with a tremendous year this year.
Yeah, he had such a hot start to the season, a 21-game hit streak at one point.
Comes in tied for 5th in the Peach Belt Conference batting average. He'll stroke a single at least. That'll chase home one more run. Stallings with those long legs will wind up at third. They're going to wave him home. The throw will go to shortstop, and no throw to the plate. Bobcats put 2 more on the board on the double by Garrett Green.
Great piece of hitting with 2 strikes there. You think about normally shortening things up, but he jumped all over that pitch and drove in a pair of runs. Stallings running real well for the big guy as he covered a lot of ground. Like you said, at long legs, pumping away.
Give G squared 2 more RBI. He's up to 36 for the season for the young man from Bogart, Georgia. And Mike Warren try to keep it going here with 2 out. Bobcats have scored all 6 runs with 2 outs in an inning. And Coach Ritchie is out of the dugout. Their right-hander had been throwing and should be loose on a 80-degree plus day. Actually, it's a lefty throwing, I'm sorry.
They have a never-ending supply of lefties. Golly, we had a lefty on Friday night as a starter. They brought in a reliever as well. They brought in 2 lefty relievers yesterday. And now there's another one left still?
Yeah, I guess so. It's
Goodness
Marcus
gracious.
McCoy down there throwing. That's hard to believe. They've got so many left-handed hurlers, and he is getting loose in a hurry, but Coach Ritchie is continuing his talk, and will leave the freshman in, so Hurst will get another opportunity to get out of the 3rd inning.
Well, Hurst has been a good one for him this year, and didn't start out the season, it appears, as a starter, but took over that role late as the 3rd weekend guy. So he's shown some success. Had a sub-4 ERA and the team's best opponent batting average, but both of those numbers are going to go up after facing the Cats. So I guess they normally do when you're a pitcher, right?
Indeed, they usually do. And against a strong offense like this, the Bobcats have improved to .363 team batting average, and adding to it here with 7 hits already, and the bottom of the third inning. Warren saw the first pitch sail out. 1-0 pitch to him now is a changeup, and it got in for a strike. Mike ground out to second in the second inning. The Bobcats went out in order against Hurst in that second frame, but he hasn't been able to put them away here in the third thus far. Low and away. 2-1. Garrett Green on at second with 2 down, after delivering a couple of runs with a double down the corner left side. Hurst looks to second and pitches 2-1, hangs one up high around the eyeballs, and it's 3-1. Mike laying off that pitch. Bobcats will be back in action Friday in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament pool play. They'll open up with Lander. The stretch and the pitch, fastball, he was waiting on it, and he just got enough to foul it off toward the softball diamond. So it's 3-2 on Mike Warren. Top 8 teams in the conference moving on to the Peach Belt Tournament in St. Augustine, Florida. Flagler gets to host after a couple of years at Francis Marion. The payoff pitch, fastball again a little bit late. And again, it goes off to the right side. Young lady going to try and track that one down. The 3-2 once more, slap to the right side. Comes up beautifully for Williams, and he'll fire to first and get Warren. So a couple of straight ground outs off the bat of Mike Warren to the second baseman Williams. But the Bobcats pick up 3 runs, again 3 hits, and again all of the runs scoring with 2 outs. So GC leads it by a score of 6-0. I'll turn it over to Mr. Weston, and he'll be with you when we come back on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
Top half of the 4th inning. Ford set to lead things off. It's 3-4-5 in the Winston-Salem state order. Bobcats up 6-0 here. Georgia College, when they score in the first inning, 23-5 on the year. When they score first, they're 27-9.
Not bad.
Let's see, what else do I got for you? Leading after 3.
Yes, like we are.
24-3.
Like that number.
So there you go. Ford at the dish, big cut and a miss to start him off. What's he done the first times there, Scott?
Well, let's check on Brandon Ford. Hit into that 6-3 double play in the first inning.
Oh yeah, that was the tough one there. I wasn't sure Gentry was going to come up with that because he had Norris, the speedy center fielder, bearing down on him at second base. But he did make the right play, step on the bag, and complete a throw. Swung on a missed in the dirt there. Veldsma still working. Got 46, 7, 8, 9 pitches now in the outing.
Got a good changeup working today, too.
The kick and a 1-2, and that's out front. Yank foul.
Nice job by the first base coach to dance out of the way of that one.
Yeah, almost kind of looked like David Lee Roth there a little bit. You know, with the jump, kind of a little jump kick going at the same time. Put that guy in some spandex, you know.
Most guys do not look good in spandex.
Wow, David Lee Roth did, I'll tell you that much. Pitch up and away, and it's 2-2.
Starting to worry about you, bud.
Well, this is you weren't here yesterday.
No.
And yesterday
I
went a lot like
apologize
this.
for that.
There was a lot of nonsense. Swung on late, going to foul it back to the left side, and we'll get out of play again.
That's what happens when your family's out of town. You just go off on tangents, right?
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
You aren't focused like you are when you got the kids and Aaron in town.
Yeah. Maybe this must be vacation hell. Probably that's what we're working with today. 2-2 pitch is low, and the count runs full here for the Ram right fielder. Pitch up and away again. That's ball 4. And Ford will get you another leadoff runner. That's 4 innings now, right?
4 straight innings, 3 hits and a walk.
And as to this point,
knock on wood.
Still nothing of them.
Not that we're
in.
Superstitious or anything.
Tough hitter here, though, and Abreu, the third baseman. Home run yesterday. What's he got today, Scott?
Today, Mr. Emilio Abreu has a single, but he was caught trying to steal second base on a fine throw by Purcell.
Yeah, that's the thing with these leadoff hitters. One of them got cut down by a double play, and another one caught stealing. Pitch taken for a strike.
That's a backup slider, looked like almost.
Maybe two-seam fastball, not sure there, but a little bit of late movement to it. The 1 pitch is away. Went with the slider there, and it slid out of the zone.
Well, Coach Belcher did not mention anything about a slider. Got a good curveball.
Okay,
so
we'll say curveball.
We'll say it's a breaking pitch of some sort.
It looked like it had some more velocity to it. I thought it was a slider. 1-1 pitch came in on the fist and it skied back behind the plate. Purcell doffs the mask and gets underneath it. The foul fly is out number 1.
And that harkened back to the end of the Peach Belt Conference tournament last year with Purcell after that long at bat by the great center fielder for Pembroke. Purcell getting that pop foul.
And that one here, 1 down now for Cole Parks, the Winston-Salem State catcher. Flew out to center field, I believe. Will pitch low and away to start him off. Puts a pretty good charge into the ball. Had 2 hits yesterday. Tried to stretch one of the singles into a double. Rather ill-advised on that one as Warren cut him down at second base. The kick and the fire there, and it's outside 2-0. Hitter's count.
Do have some occupants in the bullpen, but they're spectators right now, just in case Veldsma unravels some.
2-0 fastball, low and away, and Purcell bluffs a throw to first.
Veldsma shaking his right hand just a little bit, maybe trying to get some circulation going there. Coach Eller is going to get a lefty and a righty going. He's out of the dugout motioning with the left hand high and the right hand low.
Kind of look like the guy trying to plug the dam there.
Let's hope he doesn't have to plug too much here.
3-0 pitch is right down the gut. The automatic taken all the way by Parks. So I imagine we'll get Evans and Keith fired up here again. Cut on a miss, fastball up around the eyeballs.
Too good to lay off, according to Parks. He was going to jack it out of here. And a good battle here for Veldsma to come back after a 3-0 deficit.
Tough to catch up with Veldsma's fastball.
See what he'll bring him on a full count.
And that one's skied. Going to be foul back behind us, though.
Like a little late wrinkle on it.
Late on the swing as well was Parks. Got Parks played about straight away in the outfield. A little bit of a shade to pull on the infield side of things. So that leaves a pretty good gap as Miller has to hold on the runner on the right side. Payoff pitch. And fastball up, 4-4. So the walk there will push Ford into scoring position. Just one out here, and it brings up the first baseman, Spiva.
Spiva had a ground out to Schmall, the second baseman, to wrap up the second inning.
A couple of infielders come in to give a couple words of encouragement to the big right-hander. Do have the lefty up here, but I don't think Evans is close enough ready to go to try and get that lefty-lefty matchup. Ground ball would be awful nice here.
I'm sure that's what all the infielders were lobbying for right there. As, come on, have them hit it to me. I'll take care of you. We'll get rid of it. Coach Eller is out of the dugout, though, and he may have seen enough.
First meeting for this inning, so it still can be a conversation.
Checking with Harrison to see how much is still in the tank here in the fourth inning.
I'd love to see Harrison finish out this inning, give him one more hitter maybe. But again, Evans firing some pitches out there in the bullpen. We might be making a switch. We'll see.
Still no motion as yet as the home plate umpire arrives on the hill to join in on the discussion. They're allowing Jason to talk quite a bit for some reason. Going to give him one more batter, it looks like.
Yeah, the umpire there, Squire, was just along for the ride.
Yeah, he was. He was
spectator.
He's just finding out what Coach Eller had to say.
So one down, first and second. Bobcats up 6-0 here in the top of the fourth. We're in on the left side here.
Yeah.
Green in on the grass, thinking maybe about a bunt. No bunt coming, and this one is ripped to right. Stallings going to squeeze it and fire a strike to second base, so no runners will advance.
Big sinking line drive there, and again, a little bit of wind playing some tricks on Brandt, but he was able to get there in time before it really
At the plate,
went wild on him. And Spiva trying to jump on the first pitch, unable to push the runners around. So he got the out, and not a productive out for Spiva.
Was hit hard, but right at Stallings. So two down now. If we can attack Stewart, maybe we'll keep this shutout intact. Ram DH takes a look at a curve ball there for strike one.
Stewart had a base hit in the third, wound up at third base, but unable to score.
Yeah, again, Velsma's had base runners, but gotten himself out of trouble each time. Swung on, skied to the right side. Might be able to get out of it, folks. Foul territory, swirling wind, and Matthew Miller gets underneath it for out number 3. So the Rams get no runs, no hits, no errors. They leave a pair out there. We will head to the bottom of the fourth. Bobcats still up 6-0. Be right back with more Georgia College baseball on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. As we hit the bottom half of the fourth inning, it's going to be the top of the order for Georgia College as Gentry, Miller, and Womack are due up. If the pattern continues, we're going to get shut out this inning. Got 3 runs in the first, put up a 0 in the second, and 3 more in the third.
I'd like to see us break that pattern right here. And you got the top of the order, so why not?
Now Gentry, I believe, 0 for 2, went to the left side twice.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Once to first. And
once to first and once the line drive to the third baseman just off the dirt.
Squeezed by Abreu before it hit the dirt. First pitch to Cal is taken for a ball. Got some good baseball names on the team here. Got Cal Gentry, got Nolan Belcher as your pitching coach. Sky to right, back there, and off the wall, extra bases. Gentry scoots into second base, standing up easily for a leadoff double.
That turned Ford around just a little bit. He finally found it, but not before it hit off the base of the fence. And it bounced up high off that black fence out there, right by the light pole.
Thought we were in danger there of a rare ground rule double.
Yeah.
As that kicked up high off the fence. So Gentry at second base now for Matthew Miller. Miller with a couple of walks today.
One
right?
walk and a fly to left.
Okay, so 0 for 1 officially. Takes a look at the curveball there for a ball or a strike.
I was just thinking that Cal needed to get a couple of hits here if he has hopes of hitting 300 for the regular season. He started out at 298 and unable to hit successfully in his first 2 at-bats. So
low and away there. It's 1-1. So 1 for 3 now is Cal. So batting average starting its way up. Miller, another one of the seniors in this lineup, going to have a lot of turnover next year. Pitch low, 2-1.
But Coach Eller before the ball game, very confident for next year already, even losing the 11 seniors. Got a lot of talent coming back, and he's hoping to get some good talent signed.
Pitch up and in, and 3-1 now the count.
This is the confidence of the guy. Another block called.
Oh, okay, so
Looks
that might probably going to wave off that pitch then. I think it's going to be 2-1 still.
I did not see what Hurst did, but base umpire called the balk, so it's 2-1 with a runner at third. Now they're going to bring the infield in. And didn't help.
Laser beam down into the corner. Miller turning on the Jets, and he will stop at second base. RBI double for Matthew Miller down the right field line as Gentry comes in to score. It's now 7-0 Bobcats.
Great job, opposite field hitting. Again, stayed back, saw where the pitch was coming on the outside part of the plate and just delivered it to right field. So Matthew Miller comes up with his 36th run batted in of the year.
How about this, too? 25-game hit streak for the young man from San Diego.
25 in a row. I think Hurst Day is done.
That is a season best for the Bobcats. Again, Garrett Green had 21 earlier this year. So that's going to take the baseball out of the hand of Hurst. We will see our first reliever of the ball game. Going to take a brief break and tell you all about the new lefty here in just a moment. You listen to Bobcat Baseball on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
So the Rams go to the bullpen, bring in Marcus McCoy, left-handed junior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina on a Calvary Baptist day. 6'3", 195 pounds on the season. The left-hander is 0-1 with a 10.66 earned run average. This will be his 12th appearance, and they're all in relief. He's a situational lefty, apparently. Only has pitched 12 and 2/3 innings. Given up 15 hits, 22 runs, 15 of them earned, so he hasn't had a whole lot of help behind him. And 13 strikeouts to 22 walks, so a little reversal of what you like to see. And opponents are hitting .273 against Marcus McCoy.
Yet another lefty comes out of the bullpen for the
You're telling me
Rams.
they just loaded up with lefties this year.
Had some pretty good ones out of the pen, too, and that starter on Friday night was real solid for the majority of the ball game. Again, I think Winston-Salem State's a pretty good squad. They've got some pieces that, again, if they had a conference tournament to play in, they might be able to do some damage.
And they had a shot at a regional bid, according to Coach Eller. They started out the year as the 37th team in the country on the preseason poll.
I think that's what, Atlantic region probably for them?
I would imagine so.
Up there with the Virginia teams and all that. So Matthew Miller at second base. Bobcats have a 7-0 lead here. Still nobody out in the bottom of the fourth. And Wesley Womack will be the first opponent for the new lefty McCoy. What do you got on Womack today, Scott?
Womack is 0 for 2, a fielder's choice ground out and a fly to center.
Pitch up and away to start him off. That fly to center was a bit of a robbery there as Norris covered a heck of a lot of ground to get that sinking liner. It was hit real well to right center, but just hooked right into the center fielder.
You're going to love this, Al. They got another lefty loosening down there.
My goodness.
A plethora of southpaws.
I think the recruitment form for Winston-Salem State, they only have the one option. There is no right-hander.
There's no right-hander box.
Are you a pitcher? Are you right-handed? And then the if you click yes, the form just bounces back at you immediately. 2-1 to count here for McCoy against Womack. Got Miller at second base. Great speed there. Something in the outfield. He will score a run. Playing deep and left and pretty shallow in center. Kind of an awkward shape out there in the outfield. 3-1 now. Short lead at second base for Miller. He's extending it a bit. Big cut and a miss at ball 4 there.
Yeah, Wesley helped him out some.
Yep, up around the chin.
Looked too good to lay off, and he was trying to power it out of here against that wind.
Full count with nobody out. Payoff pitch, here it comes. Swung on off the end of the bat. That's going to get down to left field for a single. Going to hold up Miller, though, at third base as the throw comes in. Strong arm there. And there's nobody out yet, so you don't want to make that first out at the plate. Single to left field. Puts runners on the corners now for Logan Maddox.
Double digits in hits now for the Bobcats, and Wesley really didn't get a good swing at it. It was high and away to him. As you said, he got it off the end of the bat, but just enough to slap it out into left field. Maddox is 1 for 2 with an RBI single in the first inning and a run scored, and then a fly to right field in the third inning. So he's got a chance to add to his RBI total again today.
No surprise at all if you've been following the young man's career, but he's all over the Georgia College record books. Top 10 in runs, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs. And still a lot of baseball left for this guy, hopefully. Swung on and missed there, and he's deep in the hole now, 0-2 against the new guy.
I think he got a little fooled on that pitch. McCoy took something off it.
Logan very good at mid-at-bat adjustments, though.
Yes. That's how you get so good in the record books.
Yep, he can go from getting fooled to knocking one over the fence. That's hit pretty well to left field, and looks like it might get to the wall. No, it will be cut off, but extra bases anyway. It's going to be a double down in the corner and left on an 0-2 pitch.
63 ribbies now for Logan Maddox. And GC with an 8 spot in the first 3+ innings. And you had to record an out here in the 4th, as that's the second 2-bagger of the inning for GC.
The double on Maddox's career, his 49th, breaks a tie with Aaron Farah. Now he owns 8th place in school history all by his lonesome.
Aaron Farah, the single-season home run champ for the Bobcats.
A lot of extra base hits for Mr. Farah.
Yes.
I'm guessing he was a high slugging percentage dude.
He had that power in him.
Is he still teaching here locally?
I don't know. He was at Baldwin for a while in the Baldwin system.
Canadian guy, right?
Thanks, sir. Yes, he was. He was from Canada. He and Barsby would get along.
I'm sure
Well, Barsby gets along with everybody.
Well, that's debatable.
It's the Canadian in them. They're just very amenable.
Second and third here, nobody out for Schmall. He's got a 1-1 count. He's also got a couple of hits today.
Yeah, and 2 runs scored.
That one's going to grab the outside black with a fastball, 1-2.
Another big inning for the Bobcats, and we may see that bench start to come into play and let the regulars get a chance to enjoy their final day at the Kurtz and the final day of the regular season. And if Nate can come up with another knock, I'm sure that he may lead the charge of heading to the bench.
But first a 1-2 pitch, swung on and directed through that left side once again. A run comes in to score. We will hold up Maddox at third base. It is now 9-0 Georgia College on an RBI single by Nate Schmall.
Nate driving in his 27th run of the year. Again, just steering it away from everybody else in red and gray.
A little bit of Schmall ball there as we send it through the left side. One base at a time.
Still nobody out in the inning, as GC has kind of changed things up from the first 2 innings in which they scored all their runs with 2 outs. And now it's nobody out in all the runs.
That almost hit him. Danced out of the way there, and Maddox will come in to score on the wild pitch. 10-0 Bobcats. Maddox coming in to score now is 212th run scored in his career. That's 6th.
Goodness.
In school history. Pitch taken for a strike there by Percy.
And that's
things out.
Scoring runs, not driving him in, as he's pretty high up there too.
Yeah, 6th in runs scored and 5th in RBI. Well, oddly enough,
yes.
212 runs scored, 211 RBI.
Hey.
That's kind of fun.
That's pretty well balanced, I would say.
I would say so. Two-one the count. Runner on second base here. Brandon Purcell trying to continue this rally. And he skies one foul and out of play on the right side. Going to be 2-2.
Got Brandon with an RBI single in the first inning for his 48th RBI of the year, and walked and scored a run in the third. So Percy's senior season rolling on.
Long set here. Now a 2-2 pitch, breaking pitch. It stayed up a little bit, and Purcell misses it for strike 3.
Got a little greedy up there as he went off after a high, hard one. And
shouting at himself as he spins out of that batter's box as well.
Yep. He knew that he probably should have held off on that one.
So that'll bring up Brant Stallings. Had himself a heck of a day so far.
Yeah, double and a single. 2 RBI. Run scored.
Got another RBI chance here with the runner on second. Inside with a fastball, just missed. It's 1-0. Long look to second. The 1-0 is skied to the right side. Back there pretty good. Ford has a beat on it. No.
He dropped
Going to get off his glove as he misjudged that one a bit. That's going to be a double for Stallings. The throw goes to the plate, and a run scores again here. It's 11-0 Bobcats on an RBI double by Brant Stallings.
So 3 at-bats, 3 RBI for Brant. And the Bobcats really taking the air out of the Rams here in the 4th inning with a 5 spot.
Ford, I think wind may be coming into play on that one as he looked to be positioned, and then at the very last moment made a jumping attempt to his left side, and it kicked off the edge of his glove. So Garrett Green will step in now. First pitch swinging, and he chops one through the left side. Going to hold up Stallings at third base. 14th hit of the ball game already for GC. That's a single through the left side for Green.
And that'll make him 2 for 3 for the day. Garrett had a 2-run double in the 3rd inning. And now we have officially hit around, Mr. Weston, with Warren coming up.
And we're officially going to end the day for McCoy as well. Already making a point to the bullpen. We're going to get a new lefty.
Why not?
See what else we got out there and see what the Rams will bring to the table. We'll take a brief break, come back with information about our new lefty in just a moment here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
Third pitcher of the inning for the Winston-Salem State's Rams, and it is Landon Biggs, a senior from Mayodan, North Carolina. Biggs at 6'3" and 215, making his 12th start and his 12th appearance, his 7th in relief. He's 4-1 on the year, 6.94 ERA, 23 and a third innings pitched. He did have 5 starts in addition to the relief outings. 20 hits, 20 runs, 18 of them earned. 26 strikeouts to 21 walks, and opponents hitting .230 against the senior, Landon Biggs. He'll get one more collegiate outing here.
That's good to see. Get the seniors in here on the final ball game of the year for the Rams. Landon Biggs with some pretty good numbers. I'm surprised we haven't seen him before this point.
They do not have a whole lot of position players as seniors. Garcia's a senior. Breo's a senior. Have not seen Matt Malden, an outfielder for them. But those, just a handful of seniors from the Rams as position players.
Pitch outside, grabs the black for a strike to start off Warren. Old Magic Mike patrolling left field again today. Oh, one pitch is low and away as well.
Perry Keith is still loosening up and more than likely will come in with this big lead.
Yeah, it looks like Evans has stopped there. Set here for Biggs, and this one's skied to the right side. Hook it away from that second baseman. That might be tricky. Oh, he lost it. He lost it, and it hits the turf. Going to cut down the runner at second base, though, as that was a force out there, so that actually is going to be a fielder's choice.
I'm glad you're scoring this one today, Bud, because that was a tough one. And it was a tough one.
Did the second baseman end up picking that up, or was that the right fielder, Scott? Did you see?
I saw the second baseman peel away. I don't know who picked it up. We'll have to see if anybody else up here saw it.
It was down by his feet there. So I'm going to go 4-6 on that put out from shallow right. Stallings comes in to score. 1 RBI for Warren. Gentry fouls one back to the fence. Cal with a hit his last trip up, got the double off the wall.
1 for 3 in the game right now. That was an adventure out there for Williams. Battling the sun and the wind.
It's even dancing our foul pole now a little bit. Chop to the right side, waiting for it to come down. Trouble with it, and lost the battle to the bag. That is going to be an error on the first baseman there, as he couldn't come up with it. The high chopper.
Tough play for him. He had to wait for gravity to bring it down and then bobbled it around a little bit. And then Gentry, with his good wheels, able to get down the line in a hurry and beat him to the bag. So Spiva unable to control it, and the inning stays alive for GC.
And we got a pinch hitter here for the Bobcats. Got Caleb Slaughter up. As the Bobcats will dip into the bench, Slaughter will probably take over at first base for Miller as well.
Caleb 277 for his season, 6 RBI. And the bench is starting to come into play already here without getting out of the 4th inning.
Got the 12-0 lead now as that pitch misses for a ball.
Miller went 1 for 2 plus a walk.
2 ducks on the pond for the senior from Cochran, Georgia. Where's Cochran? That's up in the mountains, right?
No, that's
on the other side of Macon,
Georgia.
right?
It's on the other side of Macon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fouled off there by Slaughter, 1-1.
Bleckley County over there.
Caleb again from Armstrong State. One of the handful of student athletes we got from that great Division II program. Swung on and missed. And it's 1-2 as he got fooled on the one that just dropped off the table on him.
Yeah, a lot of Division II teams were, at least tennis teams, were very happy that Armstrong has finished play, because they had dominated the Division II ranks in tennis, both men's and women's.
Swung on, foul back to the fence. I got to imagine out of the student athletes there at Armstrong, the tennis ones were probably the ones that the Georgia Southern folks were salivating about.
Yes.
Consolidating. Imagine, if you put them head to head, Armstrong might beat Southwest or Georgia Southern.
Yeah, they probably added to that roster very nicely.
1-2 pitch. Away, swung on and missed. And Slaughter goes down on strikes to end the inning. Bobcats pick up 6 more runs, though, on 7 hits, 1 error, leave a pair. Let's head to the top of the 5th. It's all Bobcats, 12-0. We'll be right back.
whole lot of changes for the Bobcats, including a new pitcher as we go to the fifth inning here.
Oh, look out. Look out. Calvin's real excited about the bingo victory.
The basketball manager getting himself a bingo victory. Nice job, Calvin. But we'll run through those changes for you in a little second here. Win-loss record for Perry Keith is zeros, 12.15 earned run average, only the sixth outing of his 2018 campaign for Perry. Submariner, obviously.
Well, Perry is actually a little on the tricky side. He's going to give you a bunch of different angles. Had a bit better of a sophomore season than this junior year has gone for him. And they started working on having him change some pitches up over the top and try and get a little crafty to make him a bit more effective. So we'll see if that comes into play here in this at-bat. Sky to left field, and that's our new shortstop, Cassius Young, to squeeze that one for out number one. Did you give the changes before I got on?
No, the only one I got was Perry there.
All right, so we got Young now at shortstop. Over at second base is Eric Furphy. Caleb Slaughter stays in the ball game to play first base for Miller. He pinch hit for him last inning. New right fielder now, as well as Brendan Holler, as we get the senior from California to take over in right field. Williams at the plate, and a first pitch taken for a ball for the second baseman. What's he done today, Scott?
1 for 1, got a single to right.
I assume to lead off an inning, right?
Nope, it wasn't. He was the third at bat.
Right side here, and that will get down in front of Logan Maddox. That's a tough thing to do. Can't get a whole lot of singles around Logan Maddox, but he's able to drop it into right center. 1 out base hit.
So Williams has a multi-hit game so far, and the first of the Rams to say that.
The center fielder Norris now digs in.
Center fielder number 32.
Got him 1 for 2 with a single first time up to lead off the ball game, and then a fly to left.
I believe you told me the other day leading hitter in Winston-Salem State baseball history here.
Indeed. Yep, he got that back in April.
Pitch low and away to start him off. Got a lot of Norrises in attendance here today as well. One of them won Bobcat Bingo yesterday.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, that came back on April 8th, and a win over Bluefield State, 201st career hit.
Tap foul, well out in front of that off-speed pitch, and it's 1-1.
And being just a junior, he's got a chance to really add to that.
Oh, geez, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Man, he is a good one, huh? Would not be surprised if this guy plays a little bit of professional baseball.
He's got a lot of tools, like you said.
Pitch on the outside, black, and it's 1-2. Nice frame job there by Purcell behind the plate.
Surprised Percy's still back there.
Yeah, I got to think his time's limited as well. We'll see that change soon. Off the end of the bat, and it's going to kick off the glove of Furphy. We are going to go with an error on our Bobcat second baseman for that one.
Little indecision there on Furphy. He was trying to get that ball on the line, or as a dying coil there, I guess, before it hit the turf. And then he couldn't do that, and he was unable to secure it smoothly and get it over to Slaughter at first base.
Yeah, a little bit of a check swing there from Norris, and it was ducking down away from Furphy. I think Eric was concerned as to some spin on the ball if it hits the turf as to where it was going to go. And also stumbled a little bit after the error, so no play made. First pitch, a strike to Garcia. Swung on and skied to center field. Logan Maddox, a long ground to cover there, but it hangs up nicely for him for out number 2.
That was the thing, Al, is he was able to, even though he's playing deep, he was able to get in underneath it because it was such a major league fly ball there to center. So Garcia 0 for 3 days at the plate.
And Coach Eller has already made the call to the bullpen. Tap the left arm. I think we're going to see Trevor Evans here.
Hey, I get to break out my John Millage stores.
Yep, here comes the freshman from John Millage, as that's going to be it for Perry Keith. We'll be right back after this break, and Trevor Evans. Okay, folks, so we got a new hitter, or a new pitcher, for the Bobcats is Trevor Evans, the freshman from Milledgeville and John Millage Academy.
Making his 11th appearance and his 9th in relief. No one-loss record as yet for the freshman, 4.91 earned run average. Evans with 11 innings of pitching, situational lefty for the Bobcats, 12 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned, 7 walks, 7 strikeouts, and even 300 batting average against Trevor Evans.
Evans enters here in the 5th to take on the lefty Ford, and pitch starts up there.
All Trevor did in his senior year at John Millage was win a state championship in football and a state championship in baseball. So not too bad of a senior season.
Directly over the top with that fastball, and it's 1-1.
Tremendous left-handed quarterback for the Trojans. Got a chance to see him play a lot of his career.
What type of offense did they play, Scott?
Oh, JT made him anything you wanted to do.
Sky to the left side. The runners were going on the pitch, but Garrett Green will squeeze that one just barely in fair territory for out number 3. So Evans comes in, gets the one out. Let's head to the bottom of the 5th. Georgia College up 12-0. We'll be right back with more Bobcat baseball in just a moment. Bobcats batted around in the 4th. So that means Wesley Womack's going to be back up already. Here to start off the 5th for GC. Womack, I got him 1 for 2. Actually, 1 for 3. I checked that. Fielder's choice, a fly to center and a single. 2 runs scored for him. Takes a look at one low and inside, ball 1. Wesley from Monroe, Georgia. And transfer from Perimeter, Georgia Perimeter College. Spent 1 redshirt season there and then came to Bobcat country. Peach Belt Freshman of the Year, all conference a year ago. See what he does here in his 3rd season. This one Sky to the left side. And that is squeezed nicely there by Guzman, battling both the sun and the wind. So with 1 out, we're going to get another pinch hitter here. Going to be Therese Miller checking in. So Therese Miller will take over for Logan Maddox. Maddox's day comes to a close at 2 for 3. Miller enters the contest, McDonough, Georgia native, and a transfer from Georgia Southern. Pinch hit yesterday as well. Takes that one for a ball. To take a look at Therese's numbers. Good stuff from him, 385 with 5 hits, 7 runs scored, and an RBI. Got a double and a triple among his 5 hits. That pinch hit opportunity on the season. He is 2 for 6. Fouls one off there. It's a 2-1 count with 1 down and the base is empty. And that one misses low. Good patience here from the junior from McDonough. Miller going to factor heavily into the team next year. 3-1 pitch is low and away. Oh, nope, caught the outside corner. The kick from Biggs and a payoff pitch is low. Checked his swing on it, and yes, they say he did hold up. So that is ball number 4 as Miller will head down to first base. So the walk puts Miller on first. And it brings up Eric Furphy for his first at bat.
At the plate for the Bobcats, number 20, Eric Murphy.
Furphy fouls that pitch off.
No, it's just everything looks good. All of our nose looks like nothing wrong there.
Eric, another transfer from Georgia Southern. Toss over to first base to Chase Torres there. I don't think he's got any stolen base attempts on the year. Typically when he enters contests, they're a bit out of reach. 1 for 1 on the year. Furphy takes a look at that off-speed pitch. Now he's deep in the hole, 0-2. Right-hander warming up for Georgia College in the bullpen is Colin Licurdo. Might see him next inning as we'll probably break up the rest of this ball game. Set from Biggs and the 0-2 on the way. Swung on a missed, and Furphy goes down on strikes. Out number 2 for the inning, and Miller stays put at first base. We're going to get another pinch hitter here, and Austin Holloway as Brandon Purcell's day has come to a close.
Brandon 1 for 2 officially. Drove in a run, scored a run, also walked in the 3rd inning.
Holloway done some good stuff here as a freshman, appearing in his 15th ball game now, hitting .526, got 10 hits and 19 trips, and he sends this one on a 1-hop to second base. And they will get that runner on the short route for out number 3. So the fielder's choice finishes the inning. Bobcats put 1 on and leave him out there. 5 in the books now. It's 12-0 Georgia College. We'll be right back with more Bobcat baseball here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Bunch of changes for GC. Got John Davis going to take over at third base. Therese Miller stays in the ball game and shoves Mike Warren to center field. Miller will take over in left. Got a new catcher, Austin Holloway, who pinch hit. He stays in the ball game. And a new pitcher, as Colin Locurdo will take to the hill.
And it'll be his 7th appearance of the season. 0-3 with a 1-loss record, 9.72 earned run average. Colin only 8 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 13 hits, 9 runs, all of them earned, 7 strikeouts to 6 walks. Opponents hitting a hefty .394 against Colin Locurdo, out on the hill for just the 7th time this season.
His first opponent will be the third baseman, Abreu. Kind of a little bit of a forgotten man this year. Had a bit more of a role last season for us, but had some ineffectiveness early and has kind of shuffled down the lineup a little bit.
Abreu's had a 1-for-2 day with a single in the second. Pop out to catcher Purcell in the foul territory in the 4th.
Would love to see him get effective here today. Had the big shift on there, as that's the second baseman Furphy on the shortstop side of the bag to grab that unconventional 4-3 ground out. So 1 pitch, 1 out. That's pretty effective.
He'd like to have another couple like that.
Cole Parks, catcher, digs in here. Locurdo with that sidewinded motion. Had a real good sophomore season. Was pretty effective down the stretch as a freshman as well. That first pitch misses outside. I believe as a freshman had the team's best opponent batting average. Cut and miss there, as Parks couldn't catch up with that one.
Cole with a fly to right and a walk in his plate appearances so far today.
Colin pretty crafty from that right-hand side. Comes directly from the side and misses outside, 2-1.
Haven't had much of a chance to see Holloway behind the plate, but Coach Eller's pretty high on the young man as the catcher of the future.
He looked sharp yesterday defensively. Cut down a guy stealing. Big cut and a miss there by Parks, and it's 2-2.
He's got the hockey goalie mask instead of the traditional headgear by most catchers, just the traditional catcher's mask like Brandon Purcell uses.
Yeah, I guess Purcell a little bit more old school that way, right? 2-2 pitch. Cued off the end of the bat, skied to right. That's Brendan Howler seeing his first defensive action as he squeezes that ball for out number 1.
Had to stay with that one. Again, the wind keeps blowing out toward right and toward the foul line. It's coming in from left and left center and really making that baseball move all day. And Locurdo gets a couple of outs, and that's going to be enough for him.
Okay, so that's going to bring in Bradley Spinner. Excited to talk some more about old Brad, and we'll see what he does here with 2 outs in the 6th, and we'll be right back in just a moment. So we get back to action. We got the lefty, Bradley Spinner, for his 2nd appearance of the weekend.
And 2nd of the season. He only pitched a 1/3 of an inning on Friday night. Gave up a run, unfortunately, with a hit. Did have a strikeout, though. So no 1-loss record. And again, just his 2nd appearance of the season as the junior from Roswell, trying to come back from all sorts of ailments and injuries.
I was talking with him before the contest today, and he said that the plan was for him just to pitch to 2 hitters on Friday, so there was no issue with him coming out of the game But he got the strikeout to finish off the 1 inning, came out for the next inning and gave up a single. And that inherited run eventually scored off of one of the other relievers. I think Kamak maybe came in after him, if I remember right. But anyway, so Spinner is ready to go here. He looked pretty sharp, I thought. Got that strikeout with a real good looking, he said it's a kind of a slurve type of pitch. Got a little bit of a cutter sort of grip to it, so it's kind of a sharp breaking pitch, but not quite a slider. And threw a couple to a right-hand batter, made him look somewhat silly. That pitch low. Start him off with ball 1. Spiva, the first baseman, greets Spinner here. Kick and the fire. Good fastball there is skied to the right side. And Brendan Holler's going to get busy again as he battles the sun. And wow, does eventually get underneath that one. I think he was really having some trouble with the old sun monster as it's high in the sky right now. But that's the third out of the inning. Let's go to the bottom half of the 6th as Georgia College leads this one 12-0 here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Bottom half of the 6th, and Scott, I forgot to do the sock update.
Oh, gosh.
I think I'm going to have to do it in the 7th. I'm going to have to do it in one of your innings.
That's quite all right. I'll gladly turn it over for that.
I'll try and get it in quick so you can take back over.
Yeah, but you got a whole bunch of newbies out there. The entire defense has changed.
That makes the sock update even more exciting.
It does.
Because you don't know what you're going to get with the reserves.
Folks are waiting.
Low and away to start off. Brendan Holler grabs the corner of the zone for a strike. This is Holler in his first at-bat of the ball game. Came in as a defensive replacement. He's hitting .333 with a home run, 17 RBI as that one bounces. 1-1. Has been a starter for 18 ball games, appearing in his 35th, though. So he has done a lot of work for GC. And another one of these guys that would probably be an everyday fella on just about any other lineup. 1-1 pitch, and that is hit well to right center. Going to hang up there and going to hit the top of the fence on the fly. Holler will check into second base easily enough with a double. That was all about 2 feet away from his second home run of the season.
Yeah, almost got the jack there. Very, very close to getting out of the Kurtz. You're right, Brandon is just another one of those guys that has a world of talent, a whole lot of talent under the belt, and there's just such a logjam in the outfield for the Bobcats this year in terms of offensive abilities, and he's having to take a back seat this time around.
Holler put a real good charge into that one. And now John Davis will follow with something to right center. Run will come in to score. Davis turns on the Jets. He's going to head for second base. Head for a slide. He'll get him in there. Back-to-back doubles. And it's 13-0 Bobcats.
Just attacking the first pitch that he sees. John Davis collects his 11th run batted into the year.
He had an RBI double, I believe, in yesterday's action as well.
Nice to see JD getting some at-bats here late in the season. He could be a big factor for the Bobcats as the postseason starts to crank up.
Time called at the plate, and Biggs finishes through with the pitch there. So Mike Warren, one of the few starters to remain in the lineup, must owe Coach Eller some money or something.
Maybe you won't have to do as many sprints
There you
next
go.
week.
Came inside, checked the swing, and he did hold up. 1-0.
Actually have a right-hander in the bullpen for the Rams for the first time today.
They do have right-handers.
They do
don't
have right-handers. James Martin is his name, a sophomore from right there in Winston-Salem, getting loose.
Swung on there by Warren. Very uncomfortable swing, and that was outside. Kind of had the back foot ducking away.
Really got fooled on that pitch.
Bobcats have an arm warming up as well, as Kyle King appears to be the next fella out of the bullpen. That's a breaking pitch.
Ooh.
Tough call there. As
Mike
Warren,
gave up on it. I thought it was going to be outside as well.
My goodness, 1-2 now. And Mike's going to have to choke things up a little bit. That one bounces, 2-2. But yeah, so you got a guy like Warren here. He's another one. An everyday guy probably for just about any other lineup. But Howler with that double off the top of the fence, I mean, he's got immense power. As that's tapped foul back to the fence. And Brennan was the lefty contingent of the DH spot with Philip Stiles last year for us. And then when the postseason came, Stiles was just so hot, he was hitting over 500 for the year, that they decided to keep him going. So Howler was relegated to pinch hitting duties. So that pitch is up and away, 3-2 now.
Brandon with his third double of the year off the top of the fence there.
But to his credit, again, sacrificing personal gain for a couple of championships, one tournament title and a regular season championship this year. Sky to the right side. Warren hangs one up there for Ford. And that is the first out of the inning. Davis stays put at second base. And that brings up Cassius Young.
I haven't been able to see Cassius play this season, so looking forward to see what he can do at the plate. The young man from Marist.
Yeah, great high school pedigree there at Marist. And this year, though, a 180 batting average with 9 hits. 13 runs scored, though, a home run and 10 RBI. Showed great promise in the first ball game of the year. Scott had 6 RBI.
Yeah.
Hit a home run against Payne. Oh, wow. He got a good charge into that one. Going to hang up there for the left fielder, though, and he cannot catch it. He was on the run there, had a lot of ground to cover, and getting into third base. Run will score. That one I don't know. So much ground to cover, but he was underneath it. Not battling the sun.
Decisions. That's why you get the big bucks, dude.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
He had a long way to run.
All right, we're going to go triple left center.
Why not?
Sorry, guys.
17 hits now for the Bobcats.
So Young checks into third base. Caleb Slaughter at the plate for his second at bat. Struck out in his first trip.
So Young up to 11 RBI with that knock. Slaughter came in second at bat of that spot in the fourth inning, struck out.
Big still working from the stretch. You got a 2-0 or 3-0? Check on this with the umpire, maybe. I think there's only been 2 pitches so far. That one in there for a strike.
Wasn't that the same pitch? Let me see.
Slaughter digs back in and hits the heck out of that ball to left center. That's going to go all the way to the wall. And Slaughter will check into second base standing up. That's another RBI double. It is 15-0 Bobcats.
7 RBI on the season now for Caleb Slaughter as GC keeps the extra base knocks going. All of the hits this inning have been extra base, and that's a triple and 3 doubles. And Biggs is done.
Yep, that'll be the end of the lefty. And we'll go to the right-handed side for a reliever this time. We'll take a brief break and tell you about the new righty in just a moment. We'll be right back. The Rams go to the bullpen for a right-hander. It's the sophomore, James Martin.
No record on the year, making just his 5th appearance, 5.40 earned run average. He's tossed 3 1/3 innings, given up 4 hits, 2 runs. They're both earned, 4 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Opponents 267 against James Martin, a sophomore from there in Winston-Salem in Parkland High School.
Good pitcher's build at 6'4" and 200.
They may not be playing a lot of position players, but their pitchers are getting their work in today.
So Martin will take on, I believe, Wesley Womack. Yep, Wesley staying in there. I think the Bobcats are out of reserves at this point.
That's very possible.
Wesley Womack.
Maybe some guys that the youngins, you don't want to burn a year for them, but not too many position players that are freshmen this year.
So Womack digs into that left-hand batter's box, takes a look at one low and inside. Going to get back to the fence there on a wild pitch. That'll allow Slaughter to take third base. 1-0 count here to the Bobcat DH. Out in front of that one, yanks it through the right side for a single. As the 19th hit of the ball game, and it scores Caleb Slaughter, 16-0 Bobcats.
Found something he could turn on and drive it into right field as Womack delivers his 39th run of the year.
Number 28,
Scott, I mentioned it earlier in the ball game, but the 6th inning, the most prolific scoring one for Georgia College.
Here we go again.
All right, so this is now, we have outscored our opponents 92-28 in the 6th. As this one rolled to the right side, Martin takes care of it himself with a flip to first.
92 runs in the 6th inning on the season. Wow.
Yep, by far and above our best frame. Has 64 in the first, and we had 3 today, so that's 67 now in the first.
Well, we will remember that as the postseason rolls around.
Yeah, the 6th is the big one for GC for some reason.
We gotta stop this inning. We gotta get some outs.
Eric Furphy at the plate now, strikeout victim in his first trip, and he takes a strike there. Young man, another transfer from Georgia Southern. That's where Kent Rollins came from, one of our graduate assistant coaches. And
Did you get a good reference from
Yeah,
Kent?
probably helped the conversation at least.
Yep. Asked Kent what his plans were, and he says he doesn't have any right now, trying to keep this year going.
On the outside, Black with the break and pitch there, and it's now 1-2 to the Bobcats' second baseman.
His second year as a GA, along with Jake Sandlin, his second year as a graduate assistant. And Kent said he just wants to devote all his attention to this year's team.
1-2 pitch is tap foul off the feet. And Furphy will stay alive. Jake, of course, a 3-year player for us. All-American, and finished up his career at Southern Miss playing with his brother there.
Right.
Salem had a great 3 seasons. Finished in the top 10 in home runs and triples, despite only playing the 3 years. And Deuce is wild here at John Kurtz Field once again. A 2-2 pitch on the way to Furphy. Swung on a miss, and Furphy goes down on strikes. Final out of the 6th inning. 4 runs, though, on 5 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We'll come back, and Scott will take you the rest of the way, but not until I give him a sock update, buddy. It's happening, and it's going to happen after this break. We'll be right back.
Sixth pitcher of the day for the Bobcats as we head to the 7th inning. Kyle King gets a chance to throw today.
King making his 12th appearance on the year, 0-2 the record, 9.26 on his ERA. 11 2/3 innings pitched, 20 hits against him, 16 runs, 12 of them earned, 4 walks, and 11 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .385 against King. Kyle, a converted catcher, was our bullpen catcher for 2 years, spent a redshirt season and then his freshman campaign. And they converted him into a pitcher this season. 6 foot 175 from Johns Creek, Georgia, and Chattahoochee High.
While you got the mic, how about that sock up?
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so in the outfield, no socks showing on the corners. So no for Therese and no for Brendan Holler. But up the middle there, Mike Warren's got the socks showing. In the infield, the only one with socks showing is the senior John Davis. And Slaughter with no socks. We got no socks for Furphy and no socks for Young. Back behind the plate, can't quite see. I'm going to go no socks on Holloway. And no socks for King Keith. They probably do have socks. They're just not showing.
Yes.
And that is your sock update brought to you by Absolutely Nobody.
And done extremely well as always.
Very nice.
We will miss them as the summer, winter, and fall.
I might have to just do it on the Peach Belt broadcast and get all sorts of crazy sideways looks just because.
I'm sure you will. Rashad Stewart, the DH, starts him off. He's got a 1-for-2 day working. Base hit his first time up in the 3rd inning, and then a pop foul to first base. He'll sky one middle of the diamond. Who wants it? It'll be Cassius Young, the shortstop, coming in a long way to make the grab on that major league pop up the silo.
Yeah, again, the wind coming into play, as I think that was Young's ball to begin with. And then it just got scooped toward the right side.
Batting shortstop, number 24.
Yeah, by that flag, man, it is just starched right now.
It's been out there all day. We're going to have to get a new flag for next season, I think.
We'll
it's going to
beat
get
up.
ripped off the old lanyard. Wellington Guzman is at the plate, the shortstop. He's lifted the air and the ball twice, once to center, once to short.
Bit of a power hitter here, leads the team in home runs. Had a big double yesterday that just missed a home run by a couple of feet off the top of the fence on the fly.
And the pitch is inside. King, pitcher number 6 for pitching coach Nolan Belcher and head coach Jason Eller.
Got a righty warming up for GC right now, Tristan Thompson.
Off the fist, ground ball to short. Young's got to come in a hurry, and he does. Nice play by Young, getting that 6'4" frame all the way down on the ball, and Guzman is retired.
Now batting, number 2,
Nick Williams, the second baseman's got a good day working. He's 2 for 2 here in this final game of the 3-game set. Singles each time. Both of them about the same spot, almost up the middle each time. And the only Ram to boast a multi-hit game thus far, and he cuts and misses on the first effort. Kyle King with the 0-1 fastball low and away. This is a situation where you get the ball and you just try to throw strikes, try to get some outs, wrap this thing up.
Yep, Kyle's got a great fastball.
Showed it there, and a check swing did not go, says our base umpire Brady Akers. 2-1 now to the second baseman for the Rams. Fastball popped up behind the plate. Holloway finds it, throws the mask away, and makes the catch.
Not an easy one there, as Holloway had to spin around, lose the gear, and then also battle the sun a bit. And looks like we may have reached that mercy rule area.
I guess we have. We have gone to 7th inning, and that is going to do it for the Bobcats. We weren't told it was going to be a mercy rule contest, but it's 16-0, and the Bobcats come away with a win, a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle King. Georgia College, 16 runs on 19 hits. They had an error. And for the visiting Rams, they were blank today, no runs, and picked up a total of 5 hits on the contest, 1 error as well. So the Bobcats, Harrison Veldsma gets the win to start the contest.
Yep, loss will go to Hurst, the starter. What do we got on Veldsma?
Veldsma goes a 3-0 now.
Very nice.
As GC improves to 39-10 for the 2018 baseball season, and what a year. But it ain't over yet, folks. We got the Peach Belt Conference Tournament coming up, the regional as well, and hoping for even more after that. So a mercy ball game today. The Bobcats win it 16-0 in the handshake line there.
God, gonna be tough to get you Zaxby's player of the game. Let's go with Nate Schmall, clinching that Peach Belt Conference regular season batting title with a 3-for-3 ball game, 3 runs scored and an RBI. How's that sound?
I like it. I like it.
So your Zaxby's player of the game is Nate Schmall, the Bobcats second baseman senior, and that is sponsored by Zaxby's on North Columbia Street.
Al, appreciate it. Thanks very much for letting the old man play again this 2018 season, and stay with GCSU on the website for information for the postseason. The Bobcats will start their postseason Friday against Lander. They're going to be in Pool 1, or Pool A, I guess it's called. Bobcats saluting their fans as they come off the field. And the fans giving them a nice warm ovation after a 16-0 win and a sweep of the Rams of Winston-Salem State. Bobcats finish off at 22-2 at Kurtz Field this season. 39-10 as the number 8 Bobcats roll on to the postseason. Al will have the information from down in St. Augustine for you. And hopefully we'll get a chance to join him in the postseason somewhere down the line, as the Bobcats come away with a huge win today and a huge regular season. A lot of handshakes, a lot of hugs going on around at the Kurtz as the Bobcats go off the field here for the final time in 2018. For Al Weston, I'm Scott McLeod. Thanks to Jason for punching the buttons back on the YouTube broadcast, and thanks to everybody for helping out with the video of our broadcast, not just today, but all season long. So keep up with the Bobcats on the website and root them on for the postseason. We thank you for joining us on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.